I think one of the best jobs in America today, if you really want to do stand-up, is just move to LA and go to the Comedy Store and tell them you want to be a doorman, whether you're a white, black, green, a woman, whatever the fuck you are.
They're famous for having stuff. Like the door people would get spots. Like they're known for that.
Benefit.
Yeah, that's
but
their.
But it's not the spot.
Right.
It's the being around it. You're at a University of Comedy. You're at fucking Princeton
Right.
University to learn comedy. It's always great when people get there and they complain. I never complained. I said one thing one time when I got there. I said, I wish my spots were a little earlier. I keep getting these 1 o'clock spots. And some kid said, if you don't want it,
I'll take it.
Put the sign up on the wall that you don't want your 1 o'clock spot. See how many people will take it. And that made a lot of sense to me. I never complained. I never complained about people bumping me. I never did shit. It was a university, and I knew that. I knew I was here for 4 years. Shut the fuck up. I didn't think I would last for 4 years. I figured I'd get into a fist fight or something before that, and I'd get thrown out. No, I lasted there for 23 years. Yeah. And it's so crazy. Like, I actually went in there I was long. Listen, I worked the door at the store. A lot of people don't know. Towards the end, in the middle, I remember going to her and going, dog, I can't live on the $25 hosting job. And she goes, well, why don't you work the door? That's another $25. I'm like, wow.
Double my income.
Okay. I'll double
50% raise.
So I would work the door until I hosted. She gave me a special spot. She goes, I won't tell nobody. You don't tell nobody. All right. I would host. Then I would go back to working the door. But by that point, I'd get somebody and go, hey, come here. What are you doing right now? Nothing. You want to host the rest of the show? Yeah. You're the host and get security. So I would bring up Andrew, Paul Mooney, and somebody else and myself, and I'd go home. And she paid me. She never fucking said nothing to me. But I paid my dues. I was there every fucking week, like.
And that's the grind, and that's what people have to realize, especially new comics. There is a grind to this. There is a paying my dues. You're not entitled to anything. Even now, like, maybe I'll never go to a comedy show, but when I get to work with really big names I'm sitting my ass in the seat if I've opened for them and watching, because that's going to be part.
Yeah, that's part of the education.
You're a lifelong learner in this. I don't think I'm never ahead of where I'm supposed to be. So if I'm going to be opening for Joey or opening for Rich Voss or a Bobby Kelly, I'm watching the show after that.
Have you seen Bobby's new special?
Yes.
I just saw bits of it. I was fucking dying of laughter.
Yeah.
That's a 30-year seasoned fucking comic. People don't mention Bobby Kelly, how dangerous that motherfucker is. I saw a special that was like half-wit recorded on a phone from Comedy Central. And they did it at the Comedy Cellar. Like 4 years ago. I'm in the hotel room one night, like 2 in the morning, and a special comes on. He was a lot bigger then, and he was goofing on fat people and shit. I was fucking rolling.
Yeah.
That's a guy that should be a lot bigger.
Yes.
Than what he is. I'm happy
Not
you
physically,
mentioned his name.
just.
No, he lost some weight.
No, I know he did. He just
great.
talked about it. Yeah.
I just saw him yelling. He's one of those guys that's been around. He'll fucking murder you.
I get excited. Like, I get excited, not even for me. I get excited to see what the crowd is going to get. Like, because him and I do a show called Smokes and Jokes. He's a big cigar smoker. So we've been doing cigar night comedy shows together. And I get so excited once I'm off, because he's going to do 20 minutes of not material. He's going to talk about the ceiling, the lamp, make fun of the person in the audience. And it's just... It's so like off the cuff, and I get excited to watch the audience and organic. I'm excited, and I'm learning. Oh, look at all the observations he just made that I maybe didn't. Or
it's always great to go see a big time comic. Whatever. I'll tell you one of my favorite guys to watch, and you guys are gonna fucking laugh at me. I hate corny shit, but he was so corny he'd kill me. The guy with the puppets. That motherfucker.
Jose, that guy?
No, the guy with the specials on.
The white dude.
Jeff Dunham.
Jeff Dunham.
Oh, Jeff
is
Dunham.
a dangerous motherfucker on stage. And I don't know how many times, I never had a beef with him. When I'd see him, he'd give me a hug no matter what. I'd always fucking, that was great. And I think he would look at me and go, I don't believe you that you like my puppet act. And I'm like, bro, it's fucking great. There's some people, the dude from New York, rest his soul, that was a puppet act, whatever the guy's name was. That was crazy. He used to live down here before he passed away. God rest his soul. The guy that used to take booking calls at a phone booth, the ventriloquist, had a big cock. The dummy had a big cock.
The dummy had the big cock?
The dummy had a cock, and he shaved the piece off so you could put lines of coke in it and snort a line off.
Oh, my God. How do I not know?
Come on, man.
This is... Can we... Yeah. We need somebody on the community.
Come on, guy. You don't remember his fucking... Otto and George.
Oh, that's
Otto and fucking George. When I first got into comedy... When I first started rocking and rolling, maybe 2000... Rocking and rolling. You know, when you're like a good feature act.
Right.
When I was a feature act, like in 2007, I saw him for the first time. Maybe even before that. I saw him, and it was real. He was intense. And he's up there cursing, eating pussy, talking about snorting coke. I mean, this guy was nuts. You know, word on the street was that he didn't even have a phone. When you had to book him, he gave you a payphone, and you had to call that payphone on a Tuesday behind his house.
That's amazing.
That's crazy. Otto and George was the real fucking deal. But anyway, like Jeff Dunham. Because there was a lot of times I would do the late show behind Jeff. Jeff doesn't do 2 shows. So I'd go to Irvine or Brea, and it would be Jeff.
The act.
And the only thing I ever heard negative about Jeff was I'd get there and the manager would go, listen, you know Jeff loves you, but he made us cut your video. Because the video that you're coming... because it was always dirty in front of his audience. So he would make them cut that video. You know, like when you go to a comedy show, they tell you who's coming up. They always have like a little sketch, like 30 minutes of video. Like, I don't have this in the movie theater. Now I need this here. Shh, popcorn is tasty, all that dumb shit. But, no, I liked him a lot. And I learned from him, even from a puppet act. I fucking would sit there and look at their timing. His timing, the puppet's timing. And you're like, fuck, God.
And there's got to be writing behind it, right?
No, he's a real... That motherfucker was making millions.
Duncan with Little Hobo.
Duncan was okay with... he only brought Little Hobo out at the end. And it was the creepiest fucking thing in the world, that little guy.
I'm not into
I couldn't sleep at the hotel knowing that he was next door to me with that
puppet?
With the puppet. The scariest goddamn thing in the world. But it's so weird how you have... Like, I can't watch specials.
Well,
I can't watch specials.
Because of the time, how long they are? Well,
the time, but it was so surreal to me going down to the Vinny's one night. And it was the week that Natalie Cuomo was there with somebody's daughter. I can't remember. Sheba.
Okay.
Sheba has a room in
Yes.
Okay.
In the city.
Now, they're not Amy Schumer. They're not Whitney Cummings, but they're getting there. They'll be there someday. Them two were the first time I go, fuck, I forgot how much I enjoyed watching live comedy. I forgot how much I enjoyed watching live comedy because I had a whole system that was tremendous. Listen, I would get stoned as fuck, put a hooded sweatshirt on, with sunglasses. You ever see me with sunglasses on? Never. You?
No.
Never. I'd put sunglasses on, and I'd walk in the back of the comedy store, and I'd just sit there and watch the whole rotation from 9 o'clock up. If a comic got boring, I'd walk out, but I'd make sure I was there for the next one, or I'd stay there and watch how he'd get out of the hole. Because watching people get out of a hole is always an education. Right?
It's another lesson.
But I would sit there. I would do that maybe Tuesday nights, Wednesday night, not now. When I first got there, until I left in 2007, I would sit there once a week high, and I'd get pissed when people come and bother me. Joey, do you know where I could get some weed? Get the fuck away from me, because you just broke everything. You just broke that. Like, I would put myself in that corner chair for a fucking reason. I don't want you to say anything to me. And nobody used to bother you then for pictures and nothing. It was just sitting there and watching 10 comics in a row to see how they would rotate, because they're only, 20, 15-minute sets. So I'd watch 4 or 5 of them, then go for a walk, then come back, and then go for a walk, and then come back. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. When I'm home, I don't get that. When I put a special on, I don't give you Jesus with the Tribe. I'm not going to get it as much as I did when I went to see that. And I always knew that. This is all the shit that's coming back to me, because during the pandemic, we forgot a lot about this shit. But I've always enjoyed just watching straight up fucking comedy. I don't want to be in a nice place. It could be bricks. Like, give me the dirtiest clubs in New York, those are the ones I'll probably end up going to. I love Dangerfields.
Oh, I loved it back in the day and before it closed.
8 people every night.
Yeah, 12
10.
if you had a good night.
I packed it out one night. I tweeted I had 21. And they were like, Joey, what did you do? We got 21 people. I'm like, fuck yeah. Yeah, I love Dangerfields.
I love Dangerfields. I did my first show with Chaz at Dangerfields when we did his comedy event. When we did a charity event there, it had the old school like a mafia restaurant from the 50s feel still. Like the lamps were still like those little lamps were still at the table. Everything was red, and God knows they never put the lights on because you didn't want to know what it looked like. But it had that real like authentic feel.
There.
Yeah.
When you watch the specials that they shot from there, and you walk in there, you get it. You go, wow, I could smell the history in this place.
I know. I love it.
When I sat at the bar, it was the first club that it was an honor for me, beside the store, to sit at that thing, at that bar. I did it when I was shooting The Many Saints. I had never done it before. And when I came back to shoot The Many Saints, I go, I got a bunch of options of where I could go do spots. And none of them signed as enticing as Dangerfields. And I would take an Uber up there. 2, 3, I would call Linda Rowe. She'd get me a showcase. I would go up there. I would do 20 minutes, 15 minutes. 8 people.
Yeah.
But a fucking blast. And that's what I would like to go back to. I love those kind of rooms where you don't even have enough people for the chairs. Like there's 30 chairs in the room and there's 18 people.
You just can't announce you're going.
No,
right.
No, you just have to. You have to go in there.
Yeah.
But boy, that's the best workout you'll ever have because that really gets you talking and it gets you thinking quickly. Yeah. Like there's shit I have at home. I could write 3 jokes, but you know that one joke to seal them all together. I can't do that at home. I have to do that joke on stage. That's when that joke comes completely. That last joke to add the compliment
because it's a confirmation.
I cannot. I have to do it on stage while I work. I don't know.
Those small rooms, you have to talk to people. Like they always say that, you get good in comedy when you just sound like you're having a conversation. But when you write the jokes, you're performing an act. When you have just 8 people there, you're not theatrical. You're talking to 8 people. You got to learn how to talk to the people. Like that's where you learn your voice and your conversation and your ad-libbing and you obviously record every set and like nails on a chalkboard to listen to yourself, but that's where you learn. I hate it.
I taped my last set in New York City, and I got some good jokes out of it, but I didn't like the whole set from Saturday night. I like the jokes that I tried. I really enjoyed
stuff.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that stuff.
You played back the whole thing?
I played back the parts I wanted to hear, the material I'd done. I can't listen to the whole thing.
I know.
Can't listen to it.
It's painful, but I know I still have to do it. It doesn't make a difference when you get to a certain point. Sometimes I'm like, just watch it.
I've been doing a podcast, I don't know how long now. I don't know how many podcasts we've done, and if I've watched 5 of them.
What, this one?
Obviously this
Any
one.
of them.
Watch more clips than
200 episodes of this. I don't know how many of the church. 100 with Felicia. I never really watched the whole one. Not because the podcast wasn't good, because I couldn't stand listening to myself. Like, it's okay when she's talking, but when it goes back to me, that's not what I want to see. I want to see her talking. So after a while, I'm like, I'm good.
But isn't that crazy? Because you're what everybody wants to see and hear. You're the draw. You're the draw. But yet you yourself, it's something. There's something to that when you think about it.
I always thought I was retarded. I thought there was a problem. I really thought there was a problem. I could tell you guys things I did that I'm not proud of, that I went to a premiere, I would say hello, and then leave. And then try to come back because I didn't want to watch me. Taxi, I left. I just went to that premiere to see Brady's wife.
The important things at a premiere.
I went to see Tom Brady's wife, the Brazilian girl.
Oh, she's single now.
She's single. Mackenzie Dern is single. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Mackenzie Dern took all the pictures of her boyfriend off the fucking Instagram. People like, dog, Mackenzie Dern is single.
How do we know this? Intel?
No, there was somebody sent me a message. They go, Joey, this is your chance.
Yeah.
Mackenzie is scrapping all her daddy baby pictures off her Instagram. And I'm like, she's single? Jesus Christ. Not that I'm fucking an old man. What do I got to offer? But I thought there was something wrong with me. I never repeated it because I've heard of people. We have a mutual friend, not a friend. I heard this motherfucker went to a Super Bowl. I know for a fact he went to a Super Bowl one day. There were 50 people at the fucking thing. And during the Super Bowl halftime, he goes, enough with this. Let's put a tape up of my stand-up.